Hello, everybody, to this program. My guest today is Hiro Kato from Japan. He is an expert of Japanese auto market situations, and he is kindly accepting my invitation to talk on this program about how Americans are actually more enthusiastic about Japanese vintage cars. Welcome, Hiro.
Hi. Hello.
I kind of talked about you
So,
as an auto expert, but could you add to that as your self-introduction, please, for my audience?
okay. Hi. My name is Hiro. Um, well, to be easy, I just love cars, and I'm a huge enthusiast of cars, automobiles, and well, um, my mom my mom is automobile journalist, and my love to cars, automobiles, came from that. And since I was a little kid, when I was a baby, uh, cars were like always on my side, and I used to play with. Well, I still play with those little toy cars, and also I collect them and play them every day, and still play them every day. Um, so I just really love cars, and I currently um, maybe well I simply take photos of cars, and my mom used them. My mom used those photos on her articles, and that's how I currently, earn money. Only a little, but yeah, I really love cars. So car equals my life. Yeah.
That's awesome. Today, I asked you to talk about how actually you feel like Americans or foreigners appreciate Japanese old cars,
Yeah.
vintage cars, while actually in Japan, those old cars are not really considered vintage or people kind of forgot about them. But could you tell my audience a little bit about that because it's
Okay.
interesting. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, firstly, Japanese cars are very big worldwide, and uh, they're reliable, and their gas mileage are good. They're durable, and simply they're just economic. And that's for the current cars, like the new cars. Some cars that are going to be are getting sold now. And also, the fame for old Japanese cars um, has been popular, or has been rising up for about maybe 10 years, 10 years from now. And so the main reason for that is the manga called Initial D. And Initial D, well, simply explaining, is a manga about racers on public roads, especially on mountain roads. And they focus on drifting. And in that manga, it features many Japanese cars like the Nissan Skyline, Toyota Treno. Well, it's called the Corolla in the U.S. And also the Mazda RX-7, and also the Honda or Toyota, whatever. Like those famous cars are so popular among those racers, or specifically called hashirias in Japanese, and those cars are just so popular in Japan, also outside Japan.
Hashiriyas.
Yes,
Okay.
hashirias.
Hashiri means running.
So yeah,
Hashiru.
yes, running.
Okay.
Like literally like running people, hashiriya.
Okay.
And so because of those, because of that manga, those high performance cars are still popular in among young people still these days. And also that popular like the fame has been widespread known in other countries U.S. and also Europe. And so because of that, many U.S. people, many American citizens, American fans are now buying Japanese cars from Japan. And especially, there's a rule called 25-year rule in the U.S., which allows, well, it's a bit complicated, but simply explaining, it just allows a right-handed vehicle is so after 25 years has passed from that manufacturing, even if it's a right-handed vehicle or even if it doesn't have a safety belt, it can drive on. It can go on U.S. public roads if it's like 25 years old. And
I think I know what you're talking about because I've seen antique cars with a special number plate, and it's like black in the state of Virginia. So they actually give a special permission for maybe car enthusiasts in this way. That makes sense.
Yeah, like that.
Those cars coming from Japan are old ones from 1960s or 70s?
No, more like, so it's like 25 years old from now. So it's about like 90s cars. So the cars that were featured in the initial D manga too, like the Skyline, and those cars, like specifically Skylines, are getting are bought by many foreign customers, especially the American customers, American fans who love Skylines. So recently, second-handed Skyline prices are very rising, and they even cost more than a new car, even if it's a second-handed car.
And these American people or foreigners, they appreciate the quality of the build and craftsmanship that went into this making of the cars.
Yeah, and also they love the durability, but also like, because it's just like a so iconic, iconic car that was featured in the famous manga, and also it has a high performance. Like it just simply goes fast than any car, So it's just famous, It's just.
So who are these people? Where are they located? Like in the state of California, or? I think I went to see them sometime.
Yes. Well, those fans, I think, are, all over in America, but specifically, I saw them in Los Angeles or Las Vegas, and I saw them importing Japanese cars after 25 years has passed from manufacturing, and so they're just so passionate about Japanese cars, and they just import them immediately after 25 years has passed.
This is interesting. I wanted to share with you, I spoke a little bit about this before this recording, but I'm also an enthusiast of Japanese vintage guitars.
Okay.
And this is my Ibanez, produced in 1970s.
Okay.
And there are so many American fans of this type of guitar because those are just copies of an American famous brand, Les Paul, but many people feel like they made a better. This is like a fake Gibson, but Japanese did a better job because of craftsmanship, quality, and the sound. And we are really, really excited about playing this type of vintage guitar. So maybe something similar.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So they might know. They might know what we don't know, they might be passionate about we aren't, so something we aren't.
And it makes Japanese people like myself feel good about Japan.
Yeah. Also.
Yeah. So did you actually talk to these people when you visited the U.S.?
Yeah. I've also talked to those people, especially riding with Japanese cars, and one time I went to a car meet. Well, it's not like I went to. It just happened there because the place where I stayed has a huge parking lot, and I didn't know that kind of an event would occur on the place where I was currently staying at, and I heard. Well, I heard some engine noises and also some talking, some many people chatting close to me. So I just went there, and many people were gathering up, meeting up with their own cars, and mostly most of them were Japanese cars, from various Japanese cars from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and also new Japanese cars too, like from 10 years ago or something new, and they were just gathering up, and I just felt like as a Japanese, I kind of felt a little like felt proud of them, like proud of Japanese cars that I didn't know many people, because like they aren't Japanese people, but they surely love Japanese cars, and that got me thinking that you know Japanese people should be more proud of them, like that.
Nowadays, we have cheap products in any areas of things, such as we have a made in China guitar, and I go to a music store, and I don't even feel like playing because they are cheaply made. But these vintage things coming from Japan, makes us feel good about it. But there's something sad about it because it's about old Japan. I don't know if today's Japan is the same. Are they producing still great quality cars? I guess so. Right? So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
oh, okay.
I think there we still have a good quality. Yeah.
Okay. Another question that I have is that, okay, you talk to them, these people, like enthusiasts about Japanese cars,
Yeah.
and what do they think of you coming from Japan, asking them about,
Um,
connecting with them? Do they feel like
well,
amused?
well, I didn't ask them about myself, but maybe, um, I don't know, but maybe they were a little surprised because I think they didn't expect a Japanese man coming to a local meet. So maybe they were a little surprised. But one thing I know was I think they were happy because we were able to talk and and also share about some car talks or something like that. So.
Thank you, Hiro. I hope your friends you met in the US will be able to watch this video, and then yeah, it would be great that they listen to you and how appreciative you are. Thank you very much for this
Thank you.
conversation.
Thank you very much. Thank you.